We have Diva Tyler, please. We have Rohan Campbell. We have Carmela McNeal.
What's going on?
Rhian Rees. I do not see him. He might be here. He might be joining us later. And James will be joining us later as well. James, you see? Oh, the guy's on.
I wish I got a call and they were like, you want to come do this? I went through a lot of auditions, but I had no idea what I was auditioning for. So they were all fake sides, I had no idea. And then the first Zoom call I got on, they told me it was David 5 minutes before I got on the call. So again, I had no idea. And he was like, oh, we're doing this thing. And I was like, okay. In my head, I'm like, please be Halloween. I have no idea. Yeah, we did the sides again, and he was like, sweet, I'm gonna send you a script, you read it, and then we'll get back on the call in like an hour and a half. I was like, okay. So I open it, Halloween ends, and I'm flipping through the first few pages, and there's a babysitter, and whatever is gonna happen, like, oh, I'm gonna die, let's figure out how I die. And then I kept going, and I kept going. And then I was at the end of the movie and I was like, is this real? This is incredible. And I read it and hopped back on a call with David and he was like, what do you think? And I was like, I want to do this more than anything. This is incredible. And I thought it was such a cool take. And I just thought it felt like David, you know? I've been a fan of his forever and a fan of Halloween forever. It's the first horror movie I ever watched. So yeah, I begged him to do the movie and he said, come on board. And it's been amazing. So, yeah, hard to believe it when they tell you what it is, but it was really special.
Now, Diva, you got to be in all three. They failed to kill you, and here you made a surprise comeback. What the hell? What is your secret to surviving Michael Myers?
You just got to figure out as you go.
But the real question is, did David tell you when you were making Halloween Kills? Did David tell you, but you're not really dead? Don't worry, you're gonna come back. Or was that a surprise to you as well?
Well, not at first. I think they hadn't done the dailies or what have you. But sometime down the road, he called me up and he said to me, "What are you doing?" I said, what do you want me to be doing? When it's David Gordon Green, what are you going to say? And he said, you know, you didn't actually die. You know, the camera went off before you actually stopped breathing. I said, oh, really? But he said nothing else. And time went by, he let me know that I was coming back, which was really cool because when I first did the Halloween, Dan McBride was out there on set and he's like, how did you like it? I say, oh, I loved it. I said, I appreciate you all not killing me off in the first 8 minutes, but you know, most of us go in the first 8 minutes, you know.
Is it 8? No, it's like 5.
5 to 8 minutes. You know, like, so he said, yes, but you die in the sequel. And I'm thinking, oh, he's just joking. If you know Dan McBride, he's really funny. I'm thinking he's just joking. But it actually came to fruition. And so yes, I thought that I was a goner. And then again, he reached out and said, so, what are you doing on such and such date? I said, whatever you want me to be doing on such and such date. And so he brought me back and he let me know. He said, well, you won't be able to talk, so you won't have lines, so it's gonna be super easy. He said, you had a tracheotomy. I said, oh. And so he said, just come and hang out with us and have some fun. I I'm on my way. And I thought that it was amazing what he was able to do with what he was working with and what he brings out in people. So he's a really awesome guy to work for and work with. And so I love it. I love all of it. Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, because I got to see my revenge.
Virginia, talk about trying to keep a straight face with that kid. And that is, I don't know if I've ever laughed so hard at a Halloween movie when that kid just starts talking about his toenails for some reason.
It was all Julian. I mean, that kid is just hilarious, and he just kind of was given free rein to just like roast me, and so I'm just sitting there like he's just throwing every insult he could possibly think of at me, and then starts talking about clipping his toenails, and I mean, we were all just dying. Like he was just coming up with all of this stuff off the cuff, and you know, I credit Julian to making that scene what it is because he's just hilarious. It's great.
Asked, hey, do you want to do this? Come back and be in the movie? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then they were like, okay, great. And then didn't tell us what we were coming back to do. And so I was like, oh, they'll do like a flashback or something to, you know, our scene, or, you know, something like that. I was not sure what we were doing. And then they, and my wife the entire time, who's a big Halloween fan, is like, oh my God, if they're bringing me back, I hope they're gonna kill you. And I was like, I don't know what they're bringing me back to do. I imagine it will be to kill me, because what else are we gonna be doing with us? And then finally they called and were like, hey, you have to go to LA so that we can do prosthetics work, because they're gonna kill you. And I told my wife, and she just started screaming, yes! That's all I've ever wanted. I was like, thank you. And then, I was gonna say, I was on the plane to come out to get prosthetic fitted before I got the script. And then I was like in the airport reading it, and I was like, holy shit, like we're in this movie. Like it's not, I was expecting like a flashback, and it's like, no, your character is in the movie. You have like names.
I didn't get my script until right before we were going to Wilmington to film. I just got it then. So right before you get your script, you get a whole bunch of other stuff, and you get NDAs and things like that. So I'm like, this is a lot of stuff that I'm filling out prior to getting the script. Like, I wouldn't fill all that out for a little tiny part, I don't think, right? So I'm just filling things out. But I almost like, they could have signed my life away. I would never known because I was just trying to get to the script. So when I finally got to the script, I did just like Rohan. I was like going through, my husband and I laid on the ground on the floor in our room, and I just kept going through, and I'm like, I'm still in it. I'm still in it. And I was like, oh shit, I'm getting in the car, I'm about to die. I'm still in it. I'm out the car. I was like so happy that I was still in it. But I just kept going, and I was like, and I'm still in it, and I'm still in it. And then I was like, I died, but I died so fucking awesome. Like, and I was like, excuse my language, I'm sorry. But I was like, I just can't wait to see how they do this, because I couldn't understand how they would do it, but they did it, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. Like, it's such a dream come true. And I love all of you guys for being here and loving this franchise and loving us. Thank you.
Now for Robert, I guess this question works for Anthony too. The two of you were playing characters who were in the original film, but obviously not with the same actors. Did you go back and look at that at all? Did you already know about it? Were you fans?
Did I know about the first Lonnie?
The first, yeah, the role in the first film.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't believe that I'm in this movie. If I had told my 16-year-old self when I was watching Halloween that I was ever going to be part of it, I would have told you that you were absolutely insane. And I just met him the other day, and this is our first convention for both of us, so it just really kind of lovely.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
I
really will echo it.
It's a bad echo. You and Robert were both taking over roles that originated in the first film.
Right.
If you went back and looked at it, or if you just went in total blank slate.
Yeah, I mean, I just went in, like I was fortunate enough to take a nice meeting with David, and then I screen tested, and I gotta say, after making this film, I was never more amped and pumped for a film to come out. I'm so happy and honored to be a part of the franchise. you guys make it what it is. You know, there's no audience, there's no us, so we love you guys, and it was just a thrill to be a part of, you know. So I just kind of transmuted the energy that I felt getting the role into the role, and kind of brought it, you know, as much as I could. And just a great group of people. I was really so impressed with David, Danny, and there's a great close-knit crew that they have. All the guys, they all went to college together. It was just a great, nice family vibe and environment that they create on the set, which is really conducive to good work. And just honored and excited to be a part of it, so I had a great time. Thank you.
And you're one of the first people we see in the 2018 film, and it's your character that brings Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode, back into the fold. I was just curious about shooting that first scene with her. What was that vibe like on set, where it was the first time anyone was seeing Laurie Strode and so on?
Gosh, it was wild. It was an interesting day. It was a bit chilly outside, I remember, and we came into that room and it just felt so authentic. I mean, she really brings that energy to the set. I forgot immediately that it was Jamie Lee Curtis. It was Laurie. It was quite easy to do the interview. And I was thinking, we've got to get a good angle on this podcast, guys. I mean, ultimately wanted them to face each other, and I mean, yeah, of course, it's a little exploitative, but that would have been a great podcast. And yeah, that was obviously a bad move.
I think the toughest gag I had to do on all the movies, the hardest one was yours.
The neck?
Was the neck. Because David kind of changed it over and over again, and we had to constantly rework it. And the idea was that he has this knife, and I can't remember what it used to be, but then it ended up, we had to build something that...
Wasn't it a slash?
It was a slash. You got your throat slashed, and it was real simple. And then it became you plunging the knife in, letting go, and pulling it out, which is an easy gag to do. And then it became, you push the knife in, you take your hand off it, the knife stays there, it bleeds, it bleeds, it bleeds. You fall down, she comes and pulls it out, which is a really hard thing to do, and David likes to do everything all in one take, you know, so it's like, no resets, no reset, you know, and you can't get blood on everything, even though he wants a lot of blood on everything, and, you know, you can't change it's always something, but that was my hardest gag in all three of the movies, I swear to God, and it's on screen for like that, you know, but they were all fun. Divas was amazing with the light bulb in your neck, which was, that was in the script. David's idea was like, oh, stab her in the neck with the light bulb. I'm like, that's weird, okay. And so that was a tricky gag to do. I mean, they're all pretty tricky. I think my favorite is stabbing him in the eye with the knife. I think that was one of my favorites. But they're all fun. Everyone was great, and everybody that I tortured on those movies, there was nobody there that wasn't 100% behind it and into it.
For those who, we have a scary many of the people, including you, honestly. He's happy to see you now. Hello, good, sir.
All right.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
No one getting up to give me a seat.
All right, fine.
I'll stand here behind my no, get down. Get
Sit on my lap.
No, brother. No, man.
Here, slide it. We have another chair around.
Here, we can all scoot up.
Mike is such a nice guy.
Then why did you kill him?
Now about my sequel, I want to kill that motherfucker sometime soon.
They signed a fucking check. And it didn't bounce. The next time they sign a check, I'll kill the son of a bitch again.
We were actually just talking about the effects work that Chris did. So perfect time for you to come in because you, I believe you're the first to play Michael 3 times. I don't think we've ever had that before. Talk about the makeup process for you going in.
Well, I have to say, I really consider Chris to be a co-creator with this character. The magic he created in the mask, and the first time I put it on, he paid me a lot of money, by the way. No, he definitely is a co-creator in this process because, first of all, he created that mask, and all 3 masks. And the first time we put the mask on, Chris had come in from LA, he had a 2 mask and Halliburton, and we all went back to a back room. The very first time Chris applied that mask to my face, which has to be applied to my face, everybody in the room collectively just had this guttural moan. I mean, it was incredible. And then every morning, whether it was 6 in the morning or 6 at night, we would spend in makeup, and Chris, intuitively, he'd look at the call sheet for the next day, and he would intuit what music we should listen to, and it was always just absolutely perfect to set the tone for what we were going to do that day. And the part of the creative process in creating this character is sitting in Chris's chair and doing all the beautiful work that he did. And so by the time I'd walk out the set, Chris and I had already sort of coalesced. And then oftentimes on set, Chris was my eyes and ears. He would point out things to me or catch the nuances because it's a very nuanced character. It's a nuanced piece. And so, truly, Chris is a co-creator of this character, and I'm super, super honored to have been a part of that process.
I obviously haven't read it yet because it's thick and I'm a slow reader, but I just picked this up from the table over there from Abby Bernstein's book about the series that they put together, covering all 3 films. And I was flipping through it, and there's a real sense of community, and you're seeing the same folks and the pictures throughout all 3 films, which is, the series never really had before. They're always kind of hitting the reset button. They're always, there's always a lot of cast and crew turnover. And I'm just curious, just going down the road, if you got a sense of that community while you're making the film, whether you're only in one of them or if you worked on all 3.
Absolutely, this was definitely a labor of love for everybody involved, and it was a total family. Even when people would get killed off, they would still come back to set and hang out, and even visiting the sequels if they weren't in them. It was David. That's what David does. It all starts with David, and David, dare I say, demands a sense of family and community, and he welcomes that and he nourishes it. And he's definitely the captain of the boat, and everyone's just on it, So definitely, for sure.
Yeah, to reiterate what Chris says, the thing is, for me, I have never worked on a project where I got to work with the same people over and over and over, and then have new additions, for each one, like Mike and Rohan, and but the thing is, there was such a cohesive family unit, and it's like it became such a well-oiled machine, and that's the beauty of it, We had so much work experience together, and everybody had a Halloween story. That's one of the beautiful things too. Everybody had a story about Halloween and how it affected them, how the original affected them, how the ensuing movies affected them. So we were all a part of something that we all understood was greater than ourselves, and we knew from the very beginning we had something special.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much more I can add. Everything you guys said, it all comes down to David. This is the only job I've ever done where I showed up every day off I had. I wanted to be there every day. And just everyone was amazing, truly. Yeah, it's not every day you get to do that. So found a new family, and they're mine forever.
Yeah, I gotta tell you guys, it's so crazy. And I've been in this business since the 80s. I have never walked away from a project with so many honest-to-God good friends.
Yeah.
People I deeply care about, people I go have dinner with, people I call up, I text. These people are my friends, and we have genuine friendships. And I don't have to pay anybody to be my friend, man. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't cuss, did I? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, all I can say is I am amazed and feel amazing to be a part of Halloween franchise. And it is true, you come to work and you do the work, but you walk away with so many friends and so many people that maybe you would normally not have an opportunity to meet. And then a lot of these people I've seen on screen before I ever came on and never thought that I'd be working with them. I'm honored. In the same way that I'm honored to see all of your faces coming out to support and show love, mad love, for what we do. And I'd be remiss if I did not mention this. As you can see, all of us in human form, we are here to entertain you. And that's not something, and what we have hearts beating. So our heart and our soul is into it, and what we give you is coming from that point, that place. And that's something that artificial intelligence cannot do. So we love you, and we love that you love us. And when they try to bring the artificial intelligence, you say, hell no.
Let me hear that. Let me hear that. Hell no.
You say it. Hell no. Thank you.
Hear that, Bob Iger?
Fuck AI!
Anthony, I think we need to hear you say that one.
Everybody all together now. And I saw those fucking memes, Santa flies tonight, pumpkin pies tonight. I loved all that shit. I thought it was hilarious. Okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Eagle Rise!
I mean, why not? Let's talk about that. The energy in those scenes when everybody is just chanting, and you guys, before you here, you guys are just you're running through the town, you're screaming. It's just such a high energy movie that it's not usually like the usual Halloween thing. I was just wondering, is it exhausting for you guys? Because it seemed like it was more than you bargained for usually. Like usually you're kind of hanging out, you're watching TV, and Michael kills you. But you guys had to run around the whole city, screaming at the top of your lungs. Swinging baseball bats.
It felt like you guys were screaming that for weeks.
Not only did we run around, but I ran around in red heels. Like my feet were so balled up by the end of this thing, it was like ridiculous. Like my toes were bloody. Like my legs were bloody from falling when I fell. Like it was rough, but it was a labor of love. Like I've never been on a set where we had to do so many hours, so I didn't know that we really did those many hours. I thought everyone was joking. But no, we really did those many hours. No, I don't even remember when we did practice. We were practicing, and like Kyle was asking, what time did we leave? And they were like, she's like 5, and they were like, probably like around 8, 7. I was like, who's 7, 8? At night, like, what time are we going in? Like, I really was trying to get a gauge, but not ask, because I didn't want to make it seem like I didn't know. So I was trying to act like I knew. But when we were there, I found out. Like, we were really there all night long. All day, night. It was crazy.
Our movie is probably easily one of the most intense of the Halloween movies, and it is a 0. It is a 9 to 10 the whole movie. Because it's very rare in this franchise for a movie to pick up directly where the last movie ended and to continue the events of to continue the same events. So for our movie to start where Halloween 2018 ends and then to just not stop is, it was a very exhausting shoot. Yeah.
I can tell you one thing about when Michael and I were in the park discovering the bodies was he took me aside and told me something very personal about his father, and I shared something about mine, and we were both bawling. And so that kernel, I just had to draw on that the whole night, and I would be horrified and burst into tears. And so Michael really gave me a gift. He really did there. But I wish I had a goddamn murder on screen.
Yeah, I remember it being night shoots, and I liked that. It was a nice, interesting context to work in, to be at night, because I'm kind of nocturnal anyway myself. But I loved all the good food in North Carolina, and as everybody spoke up, we just had a great, wonderful vibe on set. And that, as Chris mentioned earlier, it starts from the top down with David and Danny, and those guys are just cool. And the crew is cool. We had a really good experience, and it wasn't even that long of a shoot. I think it was like 5 or 6 weeks, but everybody just, threw down and did their thing and had a good time. And again, I just want to shout out the audience, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you again.
I do want to point out, though, the scene you're talking about, where you discover our bodies, is a low moment of that movie. Like, that's a quiet moment in that movie, is, hey, we discovered 2 bodies. 3 bodies, sorry.
Can I say something really quick? I just want to say something really quick and then I'm done. This movie has been such a gift. And I'm gonna say it without crying, because I always cry. I'm a tough punk though. I'm a tough punk. But it has been a gift from beginning to end. But I just want to say this right now, and I said this to him earlier. Anthony Michael Hall is here. Like, that's Anthony Michael Hall. Like, I don't know if you guys know who Anthony Michael Hall is. Like, that's the icon. And not only am I sitting here with Anthony Michael Hall, I was talking to him earlier, like, this is my fucking friend. Like, and not only that, like, Robert Longstreet is, like, amazing. And, like, and these everyone down is my family. Like, seriously, my family. So like to be here with like them and call them my family too, and to sit across from Dick Warlock and watch his line and like I'm across from Dick Warlock, and then for people to tell me like we'll see you in 5 years, I'm like, me? Like this is crazy. Like you just don't understand. Like I was just Carmela who was watching Halloween just like you guys, and like I'm in it. And this is just every day every day I figure out something else about this that makes me be like, wow. Like I was working with Danny McBride, like I was working with David Gordon Green, like I was in a movie with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like none of that can ever be taken away from me. Like you guys are like fans of the franchise and like are like part of me now and a part of us. And like no one can take that away from any of us. And like this is just an amazing experience. I just want to thank you.
I do want to turn it over to you guys for a few questions. Your hand shot up so fast, you must have a good question. Yes, sir.
It's for Rohan. I see like elements of Christine in the movie. Going into it, did they tell you like that was like their angle that they were going for? Because I see like the transformation. Your character in the beginning is kind of reserved, has like the glasses on, and then it's kind of like how Arnie and Christine turns into like the badass. So was that like a thing that they were doing?
Yeah, I don't know, again, who knows the mind of David Gordon Green, but he kind of gave me like a bunch of homework. So the homework was just a bunch of movies, and Christine was actually the first one on there, which like obviously was a huge inspiration for the movie. And then there was some weird ones like Willard. I don't know if anybody's seen Willard.
Woo, Willard!
But yeah, so I would, when we were doing prep, David did a cool thing where we would show up in the production office and we'd all watch a movie together. And again, Christine was one of those. And Christine's one of my favorite movies. And to be honest with you, that was kind of a gift that David gave me. I hadn't seen Christine, and he was like, you gotta see Christine, because there's gonna be some of that. Yeah, I remember, I think I was in your office picking out glasses, I think. Yeah, it was your office. And yeah, we had Christine in our head for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yes, you do it.
My question is for Rohan. Can you describe the moment you realized that you and Michael would be killing people together, and how did you keep that a secret? I mean, that's
Yeah,
how do you handle that.
Yeah.
If you didn't hear us ask about keeping a secret, Rowan's role in the film, and you know, hiding it from the press and everything.
I mean, most of this process just felt like a cruel joke because I was like, this can't really be happening. Even from casting and moving forward. I remember reading the script and just being blown away, and David's sort of honesty of how much it meant to him that this would be a surprise and would be delivered to everybody, how he intended. And it was just hearing David basically speak about how much it meant to him to keep everything protected and stuff. And to your question about how it felt when I first read it, I stood up to read the script because I was so hyped on adrenaline. I was like, what? No way! We do that together. And then there's another aspect to it where, working with you, man, it's a pretty spiritual experience, and it gets pretty intense in the room. So there's the second side of that question where when you're in it and you're actually going through it, that's something pretty visceral that I'll hold on to for the rest of my life. There's something pretty incredible. Look at Michael Myers in the eyes with his hand around your throat, and being at the mercy and really believing that. I think there's something really special about being an actor that when you get to have that experience on set, it's yours forever. And I think it's really important that it's real not only for the audience in the movie, but it's real for you as well. That was definitely real. That was cool, man.
Yeah.
Favorite part of the script? A favorite part that maybe wasn't in the script, something that was ad-libbed?
There's so many David ad-libs, it's crazy. He's so fast. I imagine all the babysitting stuff is like, some of those ad-libs are incredible.
Yeah, David would throw out stuff, obviously, as would Julian, but that's just working with David. Like, his mind works so fast, he's so quick. Whether it's drama or comedy, like, he's just great at throwing out stuff and creating a safe environment, whereas an actor, you can play and not feel judged or concerned, and it's just like a playful environment.
I think the point where I'm in the doctor's office because I've cut my hand on the chocolate milk bottle, I think there's some behind the scenes of it, but I remember like I could barely breathe because David was in the room and he was like crying, laughing as well. But he would just sort of come up and be like, whisper like, you know, what's my favorite drink? And like he would just whisper things in my ear and we would just keep going. And like with chocolate milk, he's like, it's my special drink, it's for me. And he just kept going. It's like, say it's my special drink. And then do a hiccup. I'd be like, what are you talking? Okay. And then I came out the room and Ryan Turk was like in a ball in his chair, just crying, laughing. Yeah, he's a really special guy, David. Okay.
And David will let you improv. He let me say, how do you like this sassy tackle?
The entirety of like the stuff that we did at the bar, once we like meet with you and Nancy and all that stuff, like all of that was improvised. And I remember David sort of pulling me aside on set that day and being like, hey, we're not gonna do any of the lines today, just sort of start improvising. And I was like, okay, and I wandered over to Anthony and I was like, hey sir, I have to improvise with you, is that okay? so timid, I'm like, oh no, sorry. No, that was all very fun. Like, Nancy took my stethoscope during it, which was really cute. I love that movie. It was really cute.
I said I wasn't. Sorry. I'm sorry. I said I wasn't. But we did have one. I'm a doctor. My husband's a nurse. David told me the line was, I'm a nurse. My husband's a doctor. It was opposite. And then David came to me right before we were about to shoot and changed it with me, but didn't tell me to tell him. So when we came around the car, all of us together, we were ready to go fight. And I was like, I'm a doctor. My husband's a nurse. And I looked at him and he was like, yeah, that's it. Right? David did that on purpose. He does stuff like that on purpose.
Can I be vulnerable and tell you and everyone here that I didn't register the difference? And so it wasn't until I saw the movie that I was like, oh. didn't register it in the moment, and it wasn't until like I saw the movie that I was like, oh, that is funny.
Right in the back, stand. Yep.
Thank you. I mean, honestly, it's still blowing my mind. That day was my first day of filming, and so I was thrown straight into the deep end. I hadn't practiced any screaming. I didn't know what sound was going to come out. I thought it might be a squeak. I prepared David. I said, I really don't know how I haven't screamed since I was a child. I don't know what this is going to be like. So bear with me. He's like, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. He said, all right, you're fine, I'll go for it. And then, of course, as soon as you saw the art department went to town on that gas station bathroom. It was hideous. It didn't smell, but the visuals, if you know where I'm going with this, it may as well have. And so it's all fun and games, just walking into the cubicle, going about my business, and then of course you have bloody James. It's terrifying. I was traumatized. It was all very real. It wasn't acting. Thanks to James. What's his energy? His cast surrounding him. He's something else. And I have to say, it is an honor and a privilege that my character, Dana Haynes, and Aaron Corey, it's a weird thing to say, but I'm very, very honored to have stoked that fire to release the boogeyman energy so that this trilogy could, come to the ends. And yeah, what a wild ride. It was very, very special. Glad.
I have to tell you, that woman kicks like a mule. She is 100% mesomorphic, violent. I had to fight this bitch. She was not giving it up, man.
No, we had a secret handshake and we said, we're just gonna go for it, right? We're just gonna fucking do it.
She did. I actually ended up with a cut on my head because she yanked me. I was trying to pull her leg and she yanked me so freaking hard, I drove my head into the toilet paper container. And we had blood pouring down my face and we had to glue it shut so I could keep working. And you wonder why I killed her.
You only get to fight him once. Give it your best shot.
Right.
Yeah, Adia's sure.
Bro, that was freaking, okay, you're asking about the firefighter's kill. Was brutal, absolutely brutal. We were fighting in inches of mud. I mean, everything about it, the fire there, the guys that Aaron brought on, the stuntmen that I was fighting were incredibly talented. Precision is all, is possibly be. But it was brutal. One of the stunt guys sprained a knee, and we were all pretty beat up. When they sprayed the hose on me when I'm walking out, so the special effects coordinator, Heath, we rehearsed it. We knew how much pressure to use without ripping my skin off, but the police the firefighting captain for the local precinct or the local hook and ladder wanted to be the guy who used the hose. And so he's like, yeah, go ahead. Well, the guy, we had it worked out perfectly. He hits me in the chest. Dude hit me right in the nuts. And it hurt. My voice went up about 3 octaves, but I was good. So I said, dude, just bring it up a little higher, we're good. Dude hit me in the nuts again. And then he saved the day and hit me in the chest. But man, it was incredibly brutal, and you have to understand when we're working with fire like that, fire has a mind of its own. It's incredibly dangerous. I was wearing 2 Nomex suits soaked in fire retardant gel. When I walked through the house, I had to close my eyes and I couldn't breathe. I counted the steps to the front of the house and then I counted the steps to the end of the porch. If I'd opened my eyes, I'd have burned my eyes. If I'd have breathed in, I'd have burned my lungs and throat. So, you know, the precision and all the support, you know, all the firefighters and all the special effects people and all the stunt people, and then of course, you know, we had to take care of the, you know, incredible, you know, the mask. We had to use a separate mask that was specially treated that Chris had created for, you know, to handle that kind of heat. So if it looked badass, trust me, man, being in the middle of it was badass.
Unfortunately, the benefit of having no lines. You take 2 hits to the nuts, you can still perform.
People lost one. In the family Jews.
I'm always fascinated about really long takes with no cuts in movies, and I just, you know, also having words behind the scenes on some things, seeing stuff like that is always fascinating. I'm really curious to hear from anyone that was a part of that minute and 45-second sequence in 2018, where you grab the hammer, James, and hit someone on the head, and then you come out of everyone's trick-or-treating, camera turns.
For those that hear the long take and
yeah, the long tracking shot. Okay, so we rehearsed that for an entire day or a night, and David, nobody believed that we could get it in 1 take. So David thought we were going to have to stitch it together with CGI. We did 9 takes, and the incredible thing is, in doing a tracking shot like that, is we use marks. You know, we have marks on the ground when we're acting, so we know marks to hit. But there were so many marks to hit on that tracking shot, and we couldn't put marks on the ground because we'd see them when the camera is moving. And I can't see out of the frickin' mask. But Stewie, the Steadicam operator, was a very, very good athlete. And there's something for anybody who's been in any athletic endeavor, or if you've ever played in a band, you know, whenever you do something as a group, you have this sort of subliminal communication. And once you've done it together long enough, I don't need to look to pass the basketball. I don't need to look if we're all of a sudden going to do a chord change and just jump into another tune right away. I had that connection with Stewie like right off the bat. And so I think it was like the 7th or 8th take, and David does this. He went, "We got it!" And he just ran across and jumped up on, I mean, he's half my size. He jumped up in my arms and hugged me like a baby. And sure enough, man, we freaking nailed it. And no one thought we could do it. But it was crazy, man. And it was, because every take, David would adjust it, okay, or Stewie, or somebody would say, okay, we need you down here, I need you to stop here, I need you to turn here, and I need this, da. So you're also adding all this new information, all this new direction, and adjusting. But the beautiful thing of working with folks like we're working with, like the guys you see up here, the guys and girls you see up on this table, is the beauty of David Gordon Green. I think one of his greatest gifts is casting, is hiring, production crew, hiring. I mean, he brings in the most talented people, not only for the gifts that they bring to that particular department, but in their ability to work with other people in a cohesive force. So the exponential of what David Gordon Green creates is just through the roof, and that's why that shot worked.
I was also super excited just to be brought on to do the movie at all, but then when I found out that was the scene that we got to be in, getting to work on like a oneer in the center of this incredible movie, a oneer that helps establish Michael Myers as a character, and getting to meet and work with Jim and meet and work with Carmela on that, like one of the coolest nights ever. It was very cool. Yes, it was. Yeah, we were free. But like, yeah, and it's all, like Jim said, it's all about precision. It's all about timing. It's all about like, everything has to work. Everything has to go perfectly on every end to get that down.
We talked on about how David kind of brought all of us together. I think there's two other people that I think we need to thank for bringing everybody. One would be Ryan Turk, who's having his birthday today. He's a busy man. And perhaps even more importantly, for bringing us specifically all here together, of course, would be Mr. Sean Clark, who's also celebrating his birthday. Sean, come on up. We're going to present you something. And we'll try to wrangle this crowd into singing, let's try Happy Birthday. That's a good one. You can't hear, I know you can't. You'll figure it out in a second. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday. Who wants to
They did this for me yesterday on my birthday, during the 78 panel. They don't need to sing Happy Birthday to me again.
Dude, you're a day older.
I appreciate it. Just the thank you is great enough. Let these guys talk. You don't want to hear me.
Let's just do the last two words.
To
you.
I didn't know there was a cake.
You know what, guys? Fuck Sean Clark. Let's sing the whole goddamn song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sean. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Good job. All right, anybody want a piece of this? Because I don't really like cake. No, I'm sorry. They got me pies. I'm a pie guy. But where's that cake going to be where they can get a piece? Well, they can't go in the green room. Yeah, walk up and grab a chunk or something. All right, thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys all have a great time this weekend.
It's Rose shot. Rest up. We're going to be back in 5 years for Halloween 50. Everybody coming back for Halloween 50? Yeah. It's 50. We got to be 50. I think we have time for a couple more real quick ones. Yes, you, sir.
What you guys did, like every actor on here is like 100% just amazing. And the third one, fucking great cherry on the top for everything. So I just want to say thank you guys.
Dude, I want to thank you, and just to let you know, we really enjoyed taking every motherfucker's last dime. I was so happy to know that you went without a meal for a week to watch it.
This guy, man, he's been singing for a while.
Alright, my question is quickly for Rohan and for James. Can you please tell me your famous tussle where Corey got the best fight with what pie was?
Oh, dude, can I tell you something?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
The lead up to this, just to clarify, it was another one of those things where it had to be absolutely perfect because Cameron was stationary down the end of a tunnel, and we were in that tunnel, and it was sort of the silhouette, and it was so stressful that we had to get it perfectly framed, and also for it to look like there was a shift of weight enough for Corey to sort of slip under him, and that freaked me out enough, and then you could tell them what happened.
Oh, okay, so let me tell you, because the camera angle's so low, they put a pad, but it's not a pad. It's about an inch on a concrete, right? It's hard rubber on concrete. I pulled a concussion out of that one. I pulled a concussion out of that one. I've had concussions. I know exactly what they feel like. It's a spike in the middle of the brain, then you get a halo. I think that was on the first one, and then I can't remember which one it was. Well, that's why I have concussions. We kept trying to get it right, and this dude's strong, man. This dude's strong, and so we're trying to get it exactly right, and it was hurting, man. Dude, I'm not 26 anymore. I'm 66, right? And I feel like I'm a good athlete, but your body just doesn't recover the way, you know what I mean? And Rohan would jack me up and then, throw me down. We didn't get it right, and finally, my body at one point just pussied out. My body went, fuck you, Jim, I am not doing this. So Rohan went to throw me, and I just rolled out of it like a martial artist would, instead of being picked up and thrown down. And the next time I went to Rohan, I said, dude, jack me up, man. Jack me the fuck up. Like, get me up there and slam me down. And this dude jacked me, man, and just body slammed me. And we heard David go, we got it! But
you know what I heard before David said we got it? I heard your entire spine. And if you watch the movie on that tape, there's a moment where he hits the ground, and I go, and then I grabbed the mask and did, because I was legit like, I think I just broke James. Because you came up to me, you smacked me on the back of your head, you were like, throw me. And yeah, we did it. That was great.
yeah, it was so much fun.
My breath left when you hit the ground.
My breath left too.
Yeah, that noise.
All right, one more good one. Who's got a real good one? And a quick one at that. Yes, all right.
So, when watching Kills and Ends, you guys had Kyle Richards on there from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, sort of having a Kardashian on the screen with you. The whole film, I was going, yes, you guys are going to kill a housewife. You're going to kill a housewife. I was so looking forward to that. You did. What was the scene trying to
Bro, we need one more question actually after that.
Can I tell you, I'm sorry, can I tell you that the Real Wives sat behind me at the screening? I almost killed the whole fucking bunch of them. They would not shut the fuck up. There was about to be a theater filled with Real Housewife deaths. Sorry, Mike, jump on it.
I mean, that's a good place to end it. We're announcing that the next Halloween movie is about killing all the housewives. $300 million. We do have to wrap it up. The folks got to get back to their tables. Big round of applause for our panel here.